Hey everybody, and welcome back to From Guiseley to Greatness with me, GW365. I hope everyone is well. Last time we played FC United, I believe. We're going to their schedule. You can see here we've had a bit of a mixed bag in terms of results. First of all, we lost 3-2 to Worcester. If I just load up the highlights and show you the goals. A hat-trick was scored against us in the first half, unfortunately for us. These last three results have prompted us to do some business in the transfers, but we'll come to that after I've shown you all the highlights. If you just want to bear with us, it's running a little bit slow, but here we go. This is the very first highlight I think that came on after the kick-off highlight, which is like a false highlight. Agnew got it out wide, played it inside to Josh Eckham, played a decent return ball. Agnew crossed it in, and there was N.T. with his 7 finishing? 8 finishing, wasn't far off. Not a bad player, of course. So that was the first goal, as it goes silent. My fault. So I apologise. As you can see here, we've got the ratings over here. Andy Holsworth, 8.3. And then that happened. Yeah, great pass, Holt. Well done. Untis snuck in somehow, although you could lay some blame at Lynch. Lynch's doorstep, because he really should have come out and collected that, really, or at least booted it clear, not collected it because he couldn't. Then we scored this. Laurie crossed it in, back post. It was headed against the bar, a bit of a scramble, and then Nelson just, with a poacher's instinct, just knocked it in for his 5th goal of the season. Nice face. Then it was thrown out. You were thinking it's 2-1, great stuff. And then last kick of the first half, a bit of a carbon copy of the first goal, which is a bit of a shame. He's got 15 goals of the season, so I can't really complain about him not being in form or anything like that. But yeah, then we did go down to 10 men after this goal, which ended at any chance. Holsworth for a decent finish there. A few tactical tweaks here and there, which I will come into shortly as well. So that was the first game. Just writing a little bit of a list just to try and give us a bit of a script to go by, an order, if you like, so that people can get used to how I introduce and move on. So then we played AFC Flyde, a team that's up the top of the league, or top end of the league. You can see here, pretty close game, but, you know, we went down to 10 men late on, and we conceded 2 goals. Here are the goals. I mean, if you do want me to show you the red cards, let us know in the comments. No one so far has actually commented since the very first video, which is a bit of a shame. Rothery squared it to Turnbull, who kicked it straight to Swan. Obviously, a sign of a great pass with his 4 passing and 1 vision. I'm not entirely sure why Turnbull just let Rowe just jog past him. And you could argue that Simpson really could have done better there against Casper Hughes. I know we're down to 10 men, but I'd set us up without the striker. Then the throw-in came in, got headed away by Laurie, and it came back to Tomsit. Swung it in, took a bit of a deflection, and it came to Hughes, who laid it off to Rowe, who did the rest. No, he didn't. It was a tight angle. It was a bit unfortunate, really, for Lynch. Turnbull had an absolute mare, though, there. And he's actually a former player of Guiseley, so he probably felt like he needed to do that. So moving on, as you can see there, we went now to 10 men, just before they scored the first goal. And we lost Lewis Almond for injury. Then we went into the FA Trophy, North, qualify it, and we lost to Hendersford. Now this was a poor result, this. We were at home, and we had a pretty strong team. As you can see here, the defence was like the strongest defence we could have. Gavin Rothery, Holsworth, Love and Laurie in midfield, and Capitani and Nelson, which is probably our weak point up front. But yeah, this is how it went down. We actually went 3-0 down, which I could not believe. But we'll show you now what happened. I can't exactly remember. It's been about 5 days since I've recorded, so I'm just trying to remember how the goals went in. I'll remember them shortly, though. It was cleared away. Westwood got there first ahead of Nelson. And Bowerman got it. I have signed previous football managers in the past. George Bowerman. Previously at Morecambe, I believe. But that was a good finish, to be fair. And Osborne with a corner. A missed header. I'm not entirely sure who it was from. But someone missed a header and allowed Alexandru Petrescu to score. Heather crossed in. It was cleared away by O'Connor. And Maguire got it. Played a long ball forward. O'Connor missed a header again, so, we lost two goals to 2 headers missed. So really, we should have only been 1-0 down. And that was a poor attempt of a header at O'Connor. And then, Andrew threw it back to Love, and he got the cross in. Far post, Rotherham was there and scored after coming off the bench. I think he came off the bench. I might be wrong. No, he didn't come off the bench. But 58% light fitness is not good. So, then moving on to the next game, we picked up a decent result against Stockport with Billy Simpson getting a goal. A couple of minor injuries here and there. But to show you the goal, we had a lot of chances in this game. 15 chances to their 6. So we deserved a win. Probably should have been more than 1-0, if I'm being completely honest. But that was a goal. Billy Simpson with a free kick. Good goal. And it took us, to the second half to score, but we were all over them. We were very dominant. A couple of decent performances there. Danny Andrew with 8.2, and obviously Billy Simpson with the goal. He ended up moving to centre midfield towards the back end of the game, just because of injury, because we lost Archie Love, I believe, and I'd already used my sub. So I brought another defender on. Yeah, I brought on Jack Turnbull to go in defence and moved him forward. So that was that game against Stockport, a good result for us. Then we played against Colwyn Bay, and Colwyn Bay, not the best team in the world, but we found ourselves 1-0 down thanks to a goal from our former player Wayne Brooksby, who wasn't decent form towards the back end of the season. Just cost a little bit too much to keep him on. But you might notice a couple of new names here. But Brooksby scored direct from the free kick, which, by my reckoning, his free kick stat wasn't even that good. Yeah, 6 and 5. So I was pretty disgruntled with that goal. Yes, he scored some decent goals for us, but free kicks are not. And there's another former player there, Stockdale. I don't know if you noticed him then. So they were obviously up for the game. But then we did this. Melky, another new player you probably won't recognise, crossed it in for Laurie to head, and that was a good equaliser. And we pushed for a late winner, but unfortunately, as you can see here, they only had the one chance on target, and really you could argue that we should have won by more, albeit we had 7 shots from long distance. And that was the end of that game. 1-1. I was glad that we didn't lose. Then we played Brackley, and we were 1-0 up, and then 2-1 up, and then 2-2. And as you can see, it was a bit of a smash and grab. We did good out of 10 men after 40 minutes, call it. So we did okay to say that we had less than that. We actually got a goal back with one of the new signings before they went out of 10 men as well, which levelled it up. But even with their 10 men, unfortunately, they still scored because they got a penalty, which was a bit poor. This was early on. Melky crossed it in, and O'Connor just literally let it hit his shin and it went in. Apparently it was a known goal, but for me it looked like it came off O'Connor's shin, so I'm going to give it to him. Ryan Austin then struck that, and you know what, when someone strikes the ball that well, you just hold your hands up and like I'm doing now, and you just think, you know what, fair play. That's a fantastic strike. Not so much from a fantastic player, but from a decent player for this level. And then we did this with 10 men. Johnson picked up the ball. He'd been out injured for a little bit. Went out wide and then laid it back to Laurie, playing on the left, and then Rollinson, playing in a more central role, was tackled, but it fell to Johnson, who then crossed a deep ball for Wallace. I'm doing this like it's a live commentary. Wallace got his first goal of the season for us, with a nice little slide in to grab the goal, and then they got a penalty, which, you know what, I just pressed space by accident. I did not mean to do that, but yeah, they scored it. I won't bother going back into it to show the goal. And as we approach our 10th minute, we're starting at 9 minutes now, Archie Love got 2 goals, which is a rarity. But if I remember rightly, one of the goals was an absolute peach. It might even be the first one. And Bishop Stortford should be beaten easily. But this is how it happened. Lynch took the free kick. They go and found Roberts. Roberts starting a rare game, by the way. And then Melky got it. Found Love and then picked that out, son. Knowles. I think that's another keeper I've signed as well. D Knowles. And this was a second goal, which I can't remember if this was as good. I don't think it was, but there, near post header, great header. I've changed the tactics slightly, which I will probably move on to next. After seeing this goal, let's leave. You saw the goal, a couple of decent performances there. But if we go to his tactics screen now, you will see that there's a few changes. We're actually rolling with a ball-winning midfielder on the right-hand side. I love it as a centre midfielder attack. Just trying to utilise all his really good all-round stats. The only thing he really lacks is free kick taking and long throws and penalty taking, so basically set pieces. I'm not really bothered. Aggression could clearly be better, but I'm not too concerned. So he's now a centre midfielder attacking, and what happens is when he's fully fit or not suspended, Andy Holdsworth will drop into that ball-winning midfielder role. And then we've got Rollinson. Oh, I ideally need to go into transfers first to show you all these players that we've signed and let go. So we'll do that first, and then I'll go back into the tactics screen. Just bear with us one moment. So yeah, you can see there's quite a few names. I'm trying to remember the first one. I seem to remember we played FC United in October sometime. So I'm assuming Elliot Osborne. He came complaining about lack of first team football. A couple of decent stats, but never really going to start ahead of Love or Holdsworth or Roberts because he's just not going to cut it, unfortunately. Matthew Bartlett, I was a bit disappointed to see him. I was hoping we were going to see him want to leave, because I was hoping he wanted to stay. It's decent heading and marking and some pretty solid mental stats. This part could have done with being a little bit better. His jumping reach is only 11 and strength is 12. But, I thought, you're not going to get a game. It looks like he's going to go to Blythe. And then you might notice a few other names. Aaron Miles, the guy who let us down. Well, he didn't let us down, it wasn't his fault. The guy who goalkeeped for us in the playoffs. He won in first team football. He's never going to get it ahead of two keepers in front of him. Sean Mullen's gone on loan again. Not really done much looking at that. I did actually get a goal. He's got one goal. Finally. He had a loan spell before and didn't score in 6 games, I think it was. Most notably, Gavin Rothery has gone. Mainly because I want to free up wages. He's just not performing. He's always getting injured and having to take him off early and stuff. Another one is Jordan Holt, the left back who barely played for us. He played a couple of games, 5 games, but look at that average rating. 6.15. When that happens, you just think, you know what? He's not good enough. Just let him go. So let him go. And unfortunately, Carl Pleaving decided that he wanted first team football. And I tried reasoning with him, and he just wouldn't have it. And he had a decent average rating. 2 goals, 1 assist, and 1 player in a match in 6 games. Wasn't too shabby. I was just hoping he'd want to stay, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. Other side, we actually signed Ryan Noble at some point. I don't know if you saw him before. I think you did, actually, come to think of it. We actually signed Lyndon Makey from York on loan. Just needed a winger, really, and he covers both sides. He's quite quick with his acceleration and pace 13. Determination was a big plus as well. Anticipation good. Finishing and dribbling good. Crossing could be better, but you know what? It's probably going to be adequate for this league. Technique 10, work rate, teamwork and off the ball decent as well. It's the reason why I opted for him. He's only 3-star, but he's still deemed like a quality player at this level. Then we signed John Wallace. Not Walls, Wallace. Walls. Sausages. He's played 3 games for us so far, got an average rating of 6.9, which isn't too bad. And he used to play for York on this save. Came from Dartford. He must have been a free transfer right at the beginning. But he didn't play for a year. During the year of 13-14, he didn't seem to play for anyone. He started off at Gillingham when they were in the old Division 1, which is now the Championship. And as you can see here, apart from his physicals, which aren't amazing, but they're still probably okay for this league, he looks a pretty solid player. I mean, free kick taking in long shots means we've got someone who can actually take free kicks and penalties if need be, although Noble is better at that than anyone else. Crossing and dribbling is pretty good. Determination, pretty sweet. Teamwork as well. A decent all-round player. The only one thing is his tackling. No, in fact, he didn't even look like he's that bad. I thought for a second he did say he had injury problems, but he's not actually that bad. And for free as well, I don't think you could go wrong. Calvin Phillips, I picked him up, but he's actually injured. He got injured pretty much straight away. He's on a non-contract, so it's not costing us anything. Calvin Phillips plays for Leeds in real life. He's a lot better than what this suggests. But I'm still hoping, because he's got a decent report, he could be a leading player for most... That's now current ability, sorry. Sorry, I believe it's a League Two player sort of thing. So that's why I've opted for him. It's also cover as well, and it's not going to cost us anything. So that's all the transfers. So going back to the tactics screen, I've changed things around. So I've changed the winger attack for the right side, and Almond is now a support. He's one person I'm going to look to replace, if anyone, because he's only 2-star ability at the minute. I know he can go up to 3.5, but he's on £350 a week, which is, at this level, very expensive. I'm sad to say. So, we are going to make a few changes here. Where's Wallace? There he is. Let's swap you for Melky, or Makey. I keep calling him Melky, I don't know why. The Makey bars are on me. I failed that one miserably. So he's going to stay on the bench. Billy Simpson can come on for Turnbull. Although he did have a decent game last time out, but he's still a liability. Billy Simpson was missing because of suspension, as too, I think, was Holdsworth, if I'm honest with you. Capitani, someone I'm wanting to shift as well, because if you look at the average ratings here, well, if I go into the squad page, you'll see here, average rating. Best player is Andy Holdsworth, just shy of 7, which is not amazing. And you've got these two defenders here, and Lewis Almond obviously does provide us with a decent match rating overall, but it's still expensive. Yeah, basically what we're looking at is, I'm looking at players that are going to cost us too much to keep, and looking down here, second bottom of the list is Matteo Capitani, who is just not good enough. 1 goal and 2 assists in 19 games, is it? 20 games. 20 games he's played, and he's just not lived up to his potential. So he's definitely going to be one player I'm going to look to move on. But for now, he maintains a position on the bench. Jordan Marriott, you might as well drop out for Grant Roberts. Challenger is just not good enough. I'm just basically waiting for him to start complaining, and then he's going to be going. He's always decent as a backup. One thing I'm going to do is Alex Johnson is going to start this game for Ryan Noble. I'm hoping he's going to start picking up and start scoring again, because he's now at 2-star ability as well, which is a shame. Top scorer from last season. Isaac Nelson, I could leave 2 strikers on, but it means leaving. You know what, Capitani, you can go out here. You can be replaced by Rollinson. It's a very attacking substitution bench. You're going to go into the reserve team until you start complaining, probably. And I think that's all we can do at the minute, so I think we just get into the game. A few players not 100% fit, but I'm not too concerned, because I'm pretty sure all half of their players aren't. I got up to this part, and it's been about 3 days. I'm thinking, God, I just want to play some more, but I've never had a chance to actually sit down and record one video. It will, however, allow me to continue this save, basically off camera. So yeah, we're going to submit the team. It's just before Christmas. Made a couple of changes a bit earlier than I'd like to admit, but I'm hoping that some Football League sides are going to be able to pick up some of his players. So if you look here, we've got Barrow. We beat him 3-1 at home last time. He looks a decent player. His physical stats suggest that, and even his mental stats aren't too bad. He's our key player. They are currently top. If we win this game, we go within 1 point of them. So it's a must-win game, really. We are away from home. I'm just going to hope that we're going to be able to do something. So I didn't even actually look to see what the preview says. We are not the favourites, which makes a change. So I'm hoping I can say there's no pressure, but it looks like I can't. Saying going to have some fun tonight. Be relaxed. And then we'll passionately give you some encouragement. Yeah, lots of green. Right, let's start the match. Bit of a long-winded start to the video, and now we get to the game. It's 20 minutes, well, 90 minutes has just passed. Here comes Lewis Guy. Is it Lewis Guy? It's called Lewis Guy. Yeah, Lewis Guy. Squares it to Dawson. Good tackle from Holdsworth. That's what he's there for now, the ball-winning midfielder. Trying to play to the player's strengths, if you like. Looking at the the preferred roles, if you like. And starting off, we haven't had much of the ball, but we've had a couple of shots. They haven't had one yet. 20 minutes in. Still waiting for a highlight. Here we go. So here comes Lewis Guy down this right hand side, just inside the area, stops it on the byline, comes out to Dawson and plays in Walker. This is going to be a goal, isn't it? Oh no, not quite. Good save, good block, should I say, onto the post. And that's a bit of a let off, really. Here comes Pilkington. Cross is blocked and it finds its way through to Lynch. Nice rain everywhere. There's a free kick. Gorman strikes it. Lynch claims it gratefully. Just starting to come back into the game a little bit. They've let them have a couple of shots. See what we can do. Here comes Makel even. Melky or Makel. That's what his name is. Makel. I think it's meant to be Michael. 100% on that though. Let us know if you agree that it's Michael. Here comes McGowan, the right back. Forward it goes to the new signing Wallace. On this outside, he's not the quickest, but technically he's pretty good and he can play in the middle as well. That's a decent ball. In fact, it's not decent, it's gone straight in. It is a bit of a fluke, but Wallace will not give it one flying F that's gone in. Great ball. Johnson went to attack it and then thought, no, you know what, that's going straight in. And Allinson, you could argue that he should have maybe got his hand to it and clawed it out, basically. So a free goal for Guiseley, as Barrow now look to respond with great aplomb. Here comes Dawson, finds Gorman. He finds Walker. Walker now charging forward now. He's got Guy in support. Has a go from distance, it hits the defender. It was going miles wide, but they retain possession somehow. Here comes Dawson again. Feeds the ball through to Guy. Now Pilkington's in a decent crossing position and finds a cross. It's a great ball in. What a save from Lynch. Double save from Lynch. Great save. Monsieur J. That was definitely a clear chance. And normally when that ball is crossed in like that, that's a surefire goal. Here comes Brewitt with a free kick forward to Gorman on this left hand side. On the far side, I should say. Holdsworth with a good tackle and cool little back heel. Gives it straight away. Does McGowan. Good tackle there from Love, and O'Connor can find McGowan, who plays it short to Holdsworth. He finds Wallace. Nice little dink away from the defender, but then gets tackled by Burns. And as he hits the ground, it probably burned a little bit because it's a bit warm. That's a fantastic strike out of nowhere from Walker. Fantastic. I can't really say anything. That was just out of nothing. A chance out of nothing. Could you argue that the keeper should have done better? He stood inside his 6-yard box. Way inside it. Maybe you could argue he could have moved his arm slightly to the left, his left arm that is, and probably saved it instead of just wafting it, you know. What's the saying? Flapping more than, you know, a tent in wind. Laurie with a strike. What a thunderbolt that is. Good header away. Well, I say good header. He headed it away, did the defender. I think it was Mayer. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll have to look at that again. Good time to score just before half time. The corner came in from Wallace. It was headed away by Mayer. Yes, it was. He just one touch. Boom. Headshot. Went to the top right hand corner. Fantastic goal from the former Port Vale trainee. And that's a good half. There's always room for improvement. Always. So here we go. Let's just try and get everyone on board. Come on, you can do it. You can be happy. There we go. Thank you. As I looked at Alex Johnson turning to happy. Thank you very much. Archie Love is having a bit of a quiet game. He's been very instrumental in the last couple of games. Finding space and creating chances and having a few shots himself, which he previously wasn't having many shots, but since then he's got a couple of screamers this season. I've been very happy with his contribution this season. So now we're at the 60-minute mark, the hour mark, if you will. We're going to make a few changes. I actually Love, unfortunately, not doing that well, so you're going to swap with John Walls. Michael is going to go into the right midfield. You're going to come off for as James Laurie goes on. Actually Love is going to come off for Ryan Noble. He can come on first. Alex Hutchinson is going to stay on for a bit longer. But I'm really looking for probably Almond to come on. There's a chance here for Wallace. Smashes it. It's hit the post and cleared behind for a corner. Good effort, Wallace. And it's about time we've actually had some danger men. It's cleared away. This guy picks it up. Runs it straight out play. Barrow's sort of trying to turn the screw somewhat. We're going to make another change. In fact, we're actually going to make a tactical change as well. We are going to drop it like it's hot, but we're also going to drop Wallace to a central midfielder on support. We're going to drop Michael to a support, not my midfielder, winger. There we go. Advance forward, you're always on attack, that's fine. You're going to drop to a support as well. Slightly a little bit more defensive. And we're actually going to bring on Lewis Almond at left midfield just to try and catch him on the counter. In fact, what we are going to do is you're going to swap to there. Michael's going to come off. I'm just hoping this little bit of an injection of pace is going to prove dividends. And if it's still the same with like 5 minutes to go, I'm probably going to bring on Grant Roberts. Henry Rowlandson is not to be forgotten as well. He's had quite a few games, but he's just not the most creative force. He's not the best at tackling neither. That's the one issue that I've got with Rowlandson in this new system. He can play wide right, of course. But as we get to this part, we're going to get retained possession. Drop deep as fine. I'm just going to leave that for now, and then we're going to make a substitution. In fact, yeah, tactics. Let us drop it like it's hot. Let's drop Johnson into defensive midfield. We're going to put Noble in the middle as an advance forward, that's fine. Grant Roberts is going to come on for Johnson, but he's actually going to be a anchor man. To help if I clicked on the right thing. Anchor man, defend. Thank you very much. There we go. Hopefully you can see out this game. I'm hoping it's not the biggest mistake of my life, but there are a few options we can do as a corner comes in from Barrow. It's headed away, only as far as Guy. Edge of the area, squares it to Burns. Good tackle from Laurie now, and now Guys, it can break. Laurie now don't know what to do. Decisions. Holdreth now. Look at the run here from Noble. He's just peeling off the last man. Now he's miles offside. Pass it, man. I know he's slowing it down. Ball is poor, but Holdreth finds Noble. Noble looks offside, but he's put it wide anyway, which is a poor effort. Oh, I'll say that. Allinson got a hand to it, so give him credit where it's due. Ball comes in. It comes to Wallace, but it's cleared away by Bruitt. Actually, thought it was Rufus Brevitt then for a second. I thought, God, he retired years ago, did he not? But anyway, all I remember is he used to play for Charlton. Charlton fans will probably back me up on that. And Simpson takes a short free kick as Guiseley pull back 3 points on the league leaders Barrow, which is a fantastic result. Last time they beat FC United, they seemed to plummet down the table. We're hoping for a similar result, or similar theme, as we are now 4 points clear of AFC Fly, which is a very, very good result for us that Telford have managed to draw with them. That's pretty sweet, and Walker with his long shots of 7 and technique of 6 with an absolute wonder strike. £700 a week though. Bloody hell, that's expensive. He's a striker though, so maybe that's why. It's not the quickest though, but some decent mental stats, work rate in particular, and bravery, and natural fitness. But yeah, that was a good result against a team who's been kind of bossing it at the top of the table. We've scored the same amount of goals of them now as well, which is very pleasing. Goal difference is slightly less, but you can see there's 3 clear teams at the moment that are really vying for that top spot. And as you can see, a decent result all in all. Let's leave the match. And we've got his next game coming up. So we need to look at which game we're looking at for the next live commentary. It says we're fortunate to beat Barrow. I don't think so. I think we matched them. Maybe a draw would have been a fair result, but I'm not going to sweat on it too much. But looking on to the next couple of games, or the next set of games, we haven't got many left, but I'm feeling, coming back from the Bradford Park Avenue, who we're still to beat, I might add. So if we come back for this game here, the Bradford Park Avenue, to try and get some revenge on them if we can, eventually. Because if we do, fingers crossed, do get promoted, and Bradford Park Avenue are currently 10th at the minute, it's very likely we're going to play them again. I'd like to at least beat them once. We are at home, so I'll probably come back for that game. So hopefully you join us for that one. And until next time, I'll see you then. Bye bye.